Japan's southern island of Kyushu is a hotbed of volcanic activity, making for stunning and surreal landscapes. The steam in this village comes from deep underground. The sulphur gives it a pungent, eggy smell, but the locals don't mind.
I can have a hot bath every day, morning to night, whenever I want. I often use the hot spring steam to cook food.
But there's even bigger plans on how to harness that heat. High in the mountains, Shoji Numata overlooks the construction of a geothermal power plant.
It's a stable power source 24 hours a day, and it has the lowest carbon dioxide emissions among renewable energies.
Japan has the third highest reserves of geothermal after the US and Indonesia. It could provide more than 10% of the country's energy needs, but it's only being used for about 0.3%. Shoji Numata wants to change that. After building a supermarket empire, he's putting his own money on the line to build a cleaner future.
There's a phrase, selfless devotion, meaning to put aside self-interest and self-serving greed for the sake of the public and the nation. That's why I'm determined to spend my money for the next generation.
But elsewhere, there's great reluctance. The quaint town of Kusatsu is a hot springs oasis known as onsen. They're a huge tourism drawcard. Here alone, more than 3 million people visit each year. The steaming water gushing through the historic village centre is shared among the traditional spas and hotels known as ryokan.
Kusatsu is all about tourism. There are many places in the countryside where they have other industries like forestry and agriculture, but in Kusatsu, about 95% of the population is involved in tourism.
More than a decade ago, this town blocked geothermal development in a nearby town. It recently passed laws to make new projects almost impossible. The fear is geothermal power will use up their precious water.
If the hot springs in Kusatsu stop running, it'll be the end of everything for us. We would be finished. Kusatsu exists because of onsen, so we plan to refuse drilling as much as possible.
But elsewhere, the two do coexist. So this is your little geothermal plant? At this village in Kyushu, residents and ryokan owners have their own small geothermal production, and it's proven to be a nice financial boost.
At first, the community was against it. We made a promise that if the monitoring showed any abnormalities beyond a certain level, we would immediately shut down the power plant. The key to success is the local community came together.
The 2011 Fukushima disaster forced Japan to wind back its nuclear power industry, relying on imported coal, oil and gas. It's not only expensive, but polluting, and Japan struggles to meet its energy needs. So it's looking at returning to nuclear. But interest in geothermal is warming.
When geothermal development started, there was a great deal of concern because the amount of water taken by the geothermal power was greater than the hot springs. If you balance it well, it's not a problem. Conventional onsen are beginning to understand this.
There was a lot of interest in geothermal power in the 70s and 80s, but technological challenges meant interest evaporated. Japan slid down the rankings for geothermal power to be around 10th in the world. But if the latest projects are a success, it'll provide a proof of concept, and there's hope Japan can once again become a geothermal powerhouse.
Japan is a country with few underground resources, and there are no other World Heritage sites like ours. So we want to take good care of nature and nurture it. We can coexist.
Overcoming opposition from a centuries-old tradition. James Oaten, ABC News, Kyushu.